Hello guys, today I'll teach you how to calculate and optimize Raiden Shogun's damage using our Genshin Impact DPS Calculator. Our DPS calculator is very easy to use and only require you to input numbers on a single page. The first step is you need to copy our latest version calculator by visiting the link on the description below. After that, click File, make a copy, and you're ready to go. Once your calculator is loaded, choose Raiden Shogun on the top left corner, and choose 80 for the level. This is because we're going to use test runs Raiden to learn to calculate her DPS first. After that, we can try to maximize her potential by trying out different artifact combinations and weapons. Now let's input her weapon stats first. Put 532 on the attack row of the weapon column. Then put 50.3% on the energy recharge row of the same column. And for the passive, since test runs Raiden has 281.1% of energy recharge, this means she gets 28% of 181.1% as attack increase from this weapon. Put 50.7% as the result on the attack percentage row of the weapon column. And for the 30% energy recharge bonus after her using an elemental burst, we will put this on the DPS calculator panel later. For the artifact set, put 20% on the energy recharge row of the artifact set column, and 15% on the elemental damage bonus row of the same column. Keep in mind that Pyro, Cryo, Hydro, Electro, Geo, and Anemo are considered as elemental damage bonus here. And as for the artifact stats and substats, you can't view them in the test run unfortunately. But I have found all the values for you to copy. And to make the panel easier to see, I've separated the substats from the main stats and placed all of them in the buffs column instead. With this, we can play around with the main stats without getting confused with all the numbers. A little note though, please do not use copy and paste method when inputting these numbers into the calculator, as it can break the formatting and other stuffs. Now let's put her last stat, which comes from her passive talent. Her passive talent will give her 0.4% electro damage bonus for every percent above 100% of her energy recharge value. This means, she will get 181.1 times 0.4%, equaling to a whopping 72.44% electro damage bonus. Now put that 72.44% on the elemental damage bonus row of the buffs column. We can now start calculating her damage since we have inputted all the stats necessary. First, make sure to set the monster level correctly. In the test run, the monsters are at level 80. Put 80 on the monster level on the top right of the panel. Now select elemental skill on the first column and put 187.5% on the damage percentage multiplier. At the bottom of the column, you can see her critical damage is 6.81k. Let's see if it's correct. Yes, it is. Also, you can see the 3.5k damage on the left is the non-crit damage. And the 2k damage is from the electrocharge reaction. I will show you how to put the reaction damage into the equation. Let's assume Raiden's elemental skill damage will constantly be triggered every 1 second for 18 seconds. During that time period, it will trigger an electrocharge reaction every 2 seconds, making a total of 9 electrocharge reaction damage. You can input these two types of damage into two columns. One for the normal damage, which is 18 times 67.2% multiplier. And one for the electrocharge reaction damage, which is 9 times of electrocharge reaction. Now let's calculate her elemental burst damage. On the fourth column, select elemental burst and put 641% on the damage multiplier row. Now assuming that she has her resolve stacks fully charged at 60 stacks, she gets an additional 6.22% times 60 to her multiplier damage. 641 plus 6.22 times 60 is equal 1014.2. So change that 641% to 1014.2% on the damage multiplier row. And since her elemental skill is up, she gets an additional burst damage bonus of 0.29% per energy consumed. Her elemental burst costs 90 energy, so 0.29% times 90, equal 26.1%. Put 26.1% on the all damage bonus row. And remember, her weapon gives her 30% additional energy recharge after her using elemental burst. This means she will get an extra 0.4 times 30 electro damage bonus. Add 12% to the all damage bonus row we input earlier. That should be 38.1% now. That 30% additional energy recharge also increases her attack by 0.28 times 30, which equals to 8.4% attack increase. Put 8.4% on the attack percent bonus row. Now let's check the damage once more. It's shown as 44.5k in the calculator, and 44,517 damage in the game. Ignore the slight discrepancy due to rounding errors. As you all know, Raiden's burst lasts for 7 seconds, in which she can do around 2 sets of normal attacks during that time. Let's sum up all of her burst normal attacks multipliers, and put it on the last column of our calculator. Put 2 times for 2 sets of normal attacks. As for the normal attack multiplier, you need to multiply the number of stacks with the attack damage per stack bonus, then add it to the base hit damage multiplier. Lastly, we need to decide the total duration of our attack combos here. Which I believe it should be 18 seconds, because it is her elemental burst cooldown assuming she can infinitely fill up her energy level back to full. Put 18 seconds on the bottom row of any column, and you'll see her average DPS shown on the top part of this panel. That number represents the average damage this character can deal per second to at least one enemy. Now let's find out if we can increase the DPS of this Raiden by using different artifacts combination. I'm changing the artifact to a full set of Emblem of Severed Fate artifacts. As you can see, the DPS has been increased to 10.5k already. And by changing the Electro Goblet to Attack Goblet, the DPS has been increased further to 10.68k. If you use Attack Sands in Electro Goblet, the DPS will be slightly increased, but at the cost of massive energy recharge loss. I do not recommend this. Now this is the DPS of the free 4-star weapon, the Qiqi. It's at R5 level 80. Now this is an interesting one. By using EM on both Goblet and Circlet, you can raise the DPS even further. But keep in mind that it's impossible to control which character to trigger the reaction. So in practice, this DPS might be lower. Finally, here is the DPS chart for every polearm currently available. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe to help this channel grow.